and welcome to match day 6 of the first Choker Challenge Cup. I'm Malcolm Payne, an international master of chess from the UK. I'll be commentating on the fast and furious chess phase of poker. I'm delighted to have with me tonight Jeff Gross, a poker professional with over $5 million of earnings. Jeff will be giving us his insights into the poker in Choker in the betting phase. My thanks to Chess24 for hosting this tremendous competition, and I'm sure you'll all want to get involved in Choker, in which case, if you haven't done it already, download the app from the Apple Store or from Google Play. Tonight, we have the final of the Choker Challenge Cup, players competing for the right to play Hikaru Nakamura. So this is the final eliminator, and we have from Canada, Eric Rosen. Excuse me, not from Canada, Eric Rosen. From St. Louis, Eric Rosen. And from Canada, Alexandra Botez. We've both seen them in action twice before. Jeff, how did you consider the poker styles of these two? How do they compare in the betting phase?
Yeah, I saw some good discipline from both players. We did see Miss Botez actually go with a bit of an aggressive style. I saw a couple of times where she pushed the action against Bill Perkins, who he himself is known as a bit of an aggressive player. So it does show, I think she's willing to battle. She's definitely willing to put the pressure on and go all in on a particular clash when it's on, a big stake on the line. So I think she's a little more aggressive. I do feel like she has a little more poker knowledge. I know she sort of dabbles in Twitch and crosses over into the poker space a bit and seems to have a decent understanding of the game. So I like her as a slight advantage in this category. At the same time, we saw Eric Rosen play very disciplined as well. I saw him make some good folds, and I think he understands when he has a good hand, when he doesn't, and sort of how to keep his opponent in the game when he has a good hand and not lose them. So I give the advantage to Ms. Botez, but I think they both have a good discipline and understanding of the poker aspect of this betting phase. So I think it's going to be close to call, but I would give the nod there to Ms. Botez.
Okay, Jeff, I think we're off.
Here we go. Yeah, always important. It's fun, getting the cards drawn for the pieces. It's always nice to see how you're running for the day and what kind of luck you may have off the beginning. We see Miss Botez, I believe she's there was some raising. There's going to be a fold right away. So
yeah, he had minor piece and pawn, bishop or knight plus pawn, which we think is probably the worst kind of hand you can get.
Yep. So again, early on, not a big deal. Just to take a slight deficit and fold on an early round, early stage. The blinds not being so large, it's not a big deal. But they do raise pretty quickly, so you don't want to be in a habit of folding too often. Although it could be the difference. Releasing a weak hand right at the beginning gives you it's a smart play, right? You don't want to be battling against someone who's really competent in chess with the inferior hand, and
absolutely
that's for sure.
These hands are balanced at the moment. So they're 8 points each. A rook is worth 5 in chess, and a knight and a bishop 3 each. So it's 8 each.
Yep. So far. We see an all in. Ooh, look at this. Ooh. There's just ripping it right in. So the pot is 18,000 and a slight edge for Ms. Botez. She does have a 2K behind. If she were to lose in this particular game, she would still get to play, I believe, right? Because the big blind would be 2,000.
So I think, yep.
Yeah, she would still be able to play. We did see some debate about that last week. Bill was not familiar with the rule and didn't understand that if you couldn't cover the big blind, you were out of that particular clash. And that is something I pointed out, I think, a couple weeks before. Mentioned it's different. Whereas poker, if you have any chips left, even if the big blind you can't cover, even if you only had an ante, per se, in poker, you would still be able to be in, and if you won, continue in the game. So I think that was something that Andrew and all of Choker was looking at. They thought about it, and I think that's going to be something that is going to be discussed in much further detail.
I was discussing it with him actually on Wednesday and yesterday, and one idea would be to let you play. The reason the rule is there is so that Choker is over quickly, that you don't have too many draws, and then the clash lasts a very long time. But what I said to Andrew was possibly that we could just have a maximum of 2 draws, and then the person with the biggest pot wins at that point. But at least you can still play with, no matter how small your stack is, for at least 2 more games. So some kind of compromise might be in the air there.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to be thinking. It's good to be always trying to, again, major sports, they go through rule changes, little nuances, and it's important you want to have everyone be open to new ideas. So I think it'll be cool to look at, and there might be a variation of that. So we'll see. But for today, the rule stands, and again, this is for all intents and purposes, this is all in here. They got a huge pot early on, 18,000 in the middle.
She's threatening. Well, it's checkmate. There's a threat of checkmate on the back rank there that I've just shown. But of course, there's another threat. Eric set up a counter threat with a queen, threatening Alexandra's rook. So both sides lining up on the other. But Alexandra actually is slightly ahead in terms of pieces. She's got a minor piece for a pawn. She's got 2 extra points. They've both got a queen.
It's interesting that the queen was revealed early on both players. Normally use that at the end, but that was both players electing to show their hand a bit early, which I don't know. Do you think I would think normally it makes sense to have the queen last, but
absolutely.
What do you think?
I think a bit of intimidation's going on here, actually.
Yeah, but I wonder, but that to me it would make sense to do it last. But strong hands. This will be interesting. And Miss Botez is not really sure where to put it. She sees
I think
dilemma.
That was a clever placement by Eric. He's literally saying, "My first move, I'm going to snap your queen off the board. What are you going to do about that?" So that gives Alexandra something to think about. She's got a bishop to come on the board.
She's got a lot of clock winding down here.
That could hurt later. I think she needs to figure out where she's going to put that. She's going to have to block it there. Put the bishop on g6, maybe on a white square, because she's got a black squared bishop already. No? Oh, she's countered Eric's queen. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's actually... But that was a terrible blunder, because Eric has made his move and given check. So it's not going to be queen for queen. It's going to be Eric winning the queen. Oh, and now Alexandra is going to lose the bishop on the rebound. And she is, to all intents and purposes, she's lost here. Eric is a queen and a pawn against a rook ahead, and you're just going to see him move his pieces towards Alexandra's king, and that's going to be that game. That was actually all over in the first 2 moves, effectively. Alexandra's got absolutely no chance of surviving this. Eric just stopping any nonsense down the back there with the check that Alexandra was planning. There comes the knight in the middle of the board, a fantastic piece of knight in the middle of the board. It controls 8 squares. A knight in the center of the board.
2.5 to 1. 2.5 to 1 lead on time as well. So everything against her here.
She's done for. He's now trying to exchange, bringing the queen in towards the king. I think we're going to see this pawn's going to start coming up the board as well. Eric the e-pawn. Yep, there he goes. And now he's threatening to make a really nasty pawn chain, a very powerful pawn chain. There it goes. Bishop's getting forced back. Now maybe the knight's going to move in. That's it. So now there's real pressure on this d6 square. This e7 square. This e7 square is very vulnerable. In fact, I think Alexandra has resigned. That game was just only going one way.
But now, is that something? Would you call that a major blunder? Was that something she really could have avoided? She was just looks like she's got her coffee out. Maybe she just woke up, or was that she's getting a late start? You would expect her to not miss that opening.
Yeah, what she did, she tried to be clever. So Eric was attacking her queen. She countered his queen, and she just missed that he could get the queen away from the attack because he had the first move, because he was white. That was a blunder.
Again, we do. It's worth mentioning though, she did not lose the clash, so she is all in here. She's got it's a 4,000 chip pot, and she's got to work cut out for her if she wants to go up 1-0 in the clashes. She's gonna have to win numerous games in a row. But right now, it's she's at a pretty good deficit with being all in here, and only 4K she can win total.
Gosh, this is interesting. We've got pawn chains, bishop each. But Eric's got a queen to come. I think he's gonna keep that in reserve. That's going to be a bit of a disappointment for Alexandra when that arrives. Notice these pawns all connected. These players know what they're doing. Pawns defend each other because pawns capture diagonally. That means they're defending each other. Okay, that's a really good square for a rook. It's got scope. Can come down here and harass the bishop. So those two bishops are pretty good. They're one white, one black. Now that must have been a bit of a disappointment for Alexandra because Eric's queen has just landed on the board and is threatening to invade down here in a straight line, not like mine. He's also threatening to infiltrate this way with the rook. And this is pretty much an overwhelming material advantage, I'd say. It's queen and rook against bishop and knight, which is 14 points, 9 the queen is worth, 5 the rook is worth, so 14 points against 6, and that's overwhelming. I mean, this will be an absolute miracle if Alexandra can survive this, Jeff. She really hasn't got any chance. All she can really do is just try and keep all the pieces defended, keep everything together, and hope that Eric can't deliver mate in 117 seconds. He looks pretty confident, doesn't he? I think he's enjoying this position. So Alexandra running with the king. What Eric needs to do, actually, if he could just bring his extra bishop into the game, maybe here, put a bit of pressure on this square. Oh no, what he's doing is gaining space. He's forcing that bishop away with the pawn move. Bishop gives check. King moves to complete safety. That king is so beautifully placed, surrounded by a bishop and 3 pawns. There goes the bishop, putting the pressure on the e2 square, which I'm just highlighting here. So I think it's time for the... Yep, bishop takes the pawn. Alexandra's just running. She's got nothing else to do, really. All she can do is run. She might as well take that bishop with the knight. The knight's not doing anything else. She's also running out of time, as you say, Jeff. So now it's queen and rook against 2 bishops. Absolutely no chance. Alexandra just needs to make quick moves and hope that Eric messes this up. Now, there's a juicy square on d4 for a black queen. If he can find a way to get his queen on that square, that would be there it is. That's the plan. Queen heading both for d4, and which Alexandra blocks, but it's coming in around the back. a1, queen a1 check. It's going to be, and rook c2, and it's going to be mate very, very quickly. Or mate this way. Queen b2 mate is coming now, or queen b2 and rook c2, or queen c2 mate, even better. That was, gosh, I didn't see that coming, but it was mate in 2, mate in 1. It didn't really matter. Eric has won that clash. So
there it is.
That was quite easy.
That was super easy. It looks so. Wow.
So that's 1-0. That's 1-0 to Eric. I think Alexandra was a little optimistic betting there, again, without a queen, I thought. But always a risk if your opponent's got a queen, because the queen is the one piece in chess. It's the most powerful piece in chess. It can move up and down. It can move diagonally. It's got so much scope that in a relatively simplified chess position, where you're only starting with 12 pieces instead of 32, the queen, as in a normal game of chess, the queen is devastating, as we saw there.
Well, 1-0, and I mean, again, having a little chips behind, she did get the early edge with the fold, but it just wasn't enough, and we see Eric go win-win and take the 1-0 lead. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, again, this is your call on the chess perspective, how big, if 1 out of 100, if she's able to, do that, then I don't know if that's if it's just a completely uncharacteristic of her, or if that was just something that, do you think that's abnormal for her? She should have picked that up?
Yeah, I think so. I think she might be getting a little carried away here, Jeff. I don't know. This is slightly out of keeping with her previous play against her previous opponents. But there's still a long way to go. Best of 5. Maybe she just figures she's trying to unsettle Eric early on, but it's backfired, and Eric immediately rewarded with a queen. A queen is, I mean, it's interesting in the poker book by International Master Byron Jacobs, he describes a queen as being almost worth 2 queens in poker. That queen, okay, so Eric drew another queen, that's demoted to a pawn, it's gone purple. Oh, that's interesting, Jeff. I mean, Eric's got such a strong hand: queen, rook, bishop, and demoted pawn. It's enormously strong. No wonder he raised. I think Alexandra's outgunned again here on the pieces.
Yeah, this is breaking Eric's way so far. I mean, this is going down 2-0 would be tough. We have seen Bill come back, but I just you don't want to fall down 2-0. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was the most epic comeback. Bill Perkins coming back from 2-0 down to beat Matt Staples 3-2 on match day 3. Alexandra's, I think Eric's going to keep his queen till the end, maybe. Alexandra's only got 2 rooks, a knight, and a pawn to deploy. If she knew what was coming, she'd just put them in a huddle around the king. There goes a rook. So those 2 rooks, interestingly, Jeff, those are the rooks. Those are the starting positions for chess. So Eric could actually castle now on both sides if he wanted, move his king and his rook at the same time. Also, these rooks are beautifully placed, threatening to beam up and down the board. So Alexandra's cut one of the rooks off with a knight. That knight moves in an L shape, so it's covering the A8 square. Eric's got a queen and a bishop to come. Wow, the bishop could actually be really nasty as well as the queen. Maybe the bishop will just attack the knight. No, the bishop's set up there to deliver a very unpleasant check. I don't think she's going to last long here, Jeff. I think this game's going to be over real quick. Just the sheer disparity of forces. Okay, Alexandra's got 2 rooks to deploy, but Eric's got 2 rooks on the board already. What's she going to do? And little does she know there's a queen on its way. All she can do is huddle. It's a shame she hasn't got another knight. We've had a few situations here where 2 knights are incredibly good. Very, very hard defense to break. They defend each other in a kind of a double L. Eric's smiling. I think he knows, Jeff. I think he knows he's got this one.
Yeah, he's liking the start, that's for sure. He's liking it a lot.
Let's see Alexandra's reaction when another queen comes on the board. She's going to be fed up with this. Boom. Yeah. That was not well received, Jeff.
Yeah, this is, he's loving it. He's loving what's going on.
Oh, there's threats all over the place here. Giving these arrows, showing all the possible checks drawing these lines, all the possible checks that Eric could deliver on his first move. And Alexandra, she just can't cover them all. Oh, she just can't cover them all. And she's down 2-1 on time, 124-63. This won't last long. This won't last long. Maybe bishop to f5, threatening queen to h8 mate might be or close to mate anyway, just driving the king to f7. Or maybe bishop g6 check. I mean, there's just too much stuff here. Too many threats. He's going to start with the check. Yeah, he just wants to bring the king into the wide open spaces and deliver mate, I think, probably in 4 or 5. Okay, now maybe bishop b3 check would not be very sociable. Bishop g6, oh, that's a sweet one. That's a very sweet one. That's a sacrifice. It's offering the bishop, because if king takes bishop, there was a queen reverse mate. That was clever. King runs away, queen gives the check anyway. Now I think it's time to bring the rooks in, so maybe connect them with king f2, and the rooks are talking to each other. No, he's not interested. He wants to keep the queen going. Doesn't really matter. e5, trying to give a bit of cover to the king. I think it's definitely time to bring the rooks. Time to stop messing around with the queen and the bishop. Come on, just bring the rest of the guys. Bring everyone, as we say. Bring everyone to the party.
Yeah, smiles. Both players having a good time, but definitely Eric having more fun. And do you see a big time advantage as well, even though, it's
2-1 again,
last game it didn't matter, but yeah, it's...
Oh, he's castled. He's castled. That was queenside castling. which is met by a counter check. Oh, that's remarkable. Eric really didn't see that coming. That's so funny. He's trying to show off there. He was actually trying to show off with that castle's queenside. But Alexandra hit him back with something called a discovered check, which means that one piece moves, but a different piece gives the check. Eric hadn't actually seen that coming. He's lucky that he didn't lose his queen or something in that interchange, but fortunately it just doesn't matter. It's still overwhelming. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Alexandra blocks a possible check along the 7th rank there by playing rook d7, but it's just delaying the end. Eric has actually slightly discoordinated himself in that bishop isn't beautiful, but rook to the 6th would be a killer now. Knight f4 stops the deadly queen e6 check threat. Great play by Alexandra to survive this long. Yeah. She's actually ahead of him on the clock now. Oh, no, she's not. She's down for a few seconds. No. She's lost on time. She's lost, but she'll avoid the ignominy of being mated. She'll lose on time first. There it goes. Yeah, Eric won. Well, he wasn't very efficient there, but it really didn't matter.
Yeah. Takes the lead, he's looking dominant so far. Looks fresh and ready. I mean, like I said, I don't know if that's coffee or tea, but Ms. Botez, she's looks like she's just waking up today, and she's got a tough opponent. Maybe against Bill she could come in not fully dialed in, but I think Eric has definitely shown he is dominant, and as you mentioned, having the speed, being one of the best in the world, it's definitely an advantage. And in this game, you gotta play quick, gotta be on your toes, and he's looking ready to just go for he's looking for the sweep. He's got the 2-0. I said I thought it would go the distance, but so far it's looking one-sided. Yeah.
Eric's had the good luck with the cards, though, hasn't he? I mean, he's drawn a lot of the stronger pieces. Alexandra's been a little bit unlucky, but she hasn't. Maybe she hasn't just bet accordingly. So that's one of the problems that she's having. Eric lives just down the road from the fabulous St. Louis Chess Club, which recently organized a very interesting form of chess called clutch chess, where some games were worth more than others. And in a funny way, that kind of happens in Choker. Some games, of course, are worth more than others. Just depends on the size of the pot. But Jeff, is Alexandra really just betting a bit too aggressively here?
It does seem like she's ready to go. I mean, she's just kind of firing. She's inflating the pots, but it can work. Also, you can get folds, right? When it's in no limit hold'em. One of the big things is in tournament poker, if you're the one that's going all in, it's a big advantage because you give your opponent the ability to fold. So you are actually giving them a chance to maybe make a mistake or to not risk, right? So if you're the aggressor, it's an advantage. So I will say that in general, that's a good strategy. It can add work in your advantage if you are the more aggressive player, because you get your opponent to kind of fold maybe too much, right? Like obviously you don't know if they have a good hand, but if you do get some folds, like it can add up. So there we go. She's fired up.
No, she's pumped up now.
She likes it.
I like that parallel with poker. That going all in and being aggressive gives you the advantage. There was a 19th century chess player, I think he was called de la Bourdonnais. He said, "He who attacks has the advantage," he used to say.
Yeah, I like that. That's for sure. That's the case. I mean, for sure, it rewards aggression. So let's see if it can work out for her. If she can get a game back, clash back, and force a fourth clash. Because right now 2-0, and she does have a queen and a bishop. So nice start there. Oh, I'm sorry, that is.
She's queen and bishop against two bishops. I think Eric's folding again.
There we go. She's leaning on him now. She's got almost a leg out. She's got a decent lead here.
So let's see, what's the blinds now? They should be up to at least 1.5, right? Big blind? It's 2,000. 1,000 and 2,000. Eric's, queen and rook. Oh, goodness me. Queen and rook against pawn and pawn. That is the biggest disparity you can get, I think, more or less on the first deal. She must fold. Yeah, okay. Okay. $3,000. Okay, Eric, pawn and pawn. The one thing about pawn and pawn, it's not necessarily a fold, because if you get a third pawn, it gets promoted.
He's all in.
He's all in. He's all in with two pawns. That's hilarious.
And he actually, he's going to force a fold. There you go.
Wow.
And he was all in with 2 pawns. Just
She won't like that when she sees the video of this afterwards. She won't like that.
No, that was see. That's also part of the thing where it's her life on the line. So she's literally 2-0. She loses this clash, it's all over. So Eric has that extra sort of fearlessness built into that play, right? It's not as critical for him. So, all right, she's gonna go ahead and decides to raise, and that's going to be a re-raise.
That's not bad. Rook and knight.
And Eric but it likes the queen there.
Oof, rook and queen. She really needs a queen to come through.
Pieces are pretty strong looking. There's a full house. That's the Empress, correct?
Yep, the Empress, absolutely.
Empress is...
that's going to get promoted then. So the third piece always gets promoted to a queen. So the third knight is promoted to a queen. That's transformed it. That's completely transformed the chances in this match. So Alexandra actually doesn't have any pawns. So Eric's got a pawn. He's building up that pawn chain again around his king. She must win this one. She absolutely must win this clash, this game and this clash. Knight on the board. Okay, both sides have a rook and a queen to deploy. That rook should... So it's interesting, Jeff. Alexandra could castle on the right-hand side. She could castle what we call king side, the side that the king is on when the game starts. But she's got no pawn cover there, so she probably won't be doing that. Okay, now where to put the queen? That's the big question. Where do you put the queen?
Yeah, I mean, this is all or nothing now, right? This is Miss Botez is at risk. If I'm Rosen, does have 2.5K behind. This pot is massive, 17,500. Each player start with 10,000. So this could be it. I mean, this is game, set, clash on the line.
Yep. Okay, there goes the queen. That A2 square, it's a popular square in the placement phase for the queen. It just often threatens to drive into the heart of the position. Oh, but this is going to be tough. Both sides have got queens. So Eric has cleverly put his knight there, stopping any monkey business down the H-file with the rook. He's got himself well set up, but he's well down on material. What Alexandra should be doing actually is probably trying to just exchange. As we've discussed before, if you've got more pieces than your opponent, the more that you exchange, the greater your the disparity as a percentage. It makes it easier to convert if you exchange. So, for example, if Alexandra could exchange queens and a pair of rooks, then she'd have rook and 2 knights against a knight, which would just be overwhelming, and she would just win. Okay, her first move is interesting. It's no actual threat, but it's kind of saying, okay, I'm just guarding that square. Eric tries to move his king to a better square. Alexandra's going to maybe move her knight, or maybe she could move her queen there. Try and put Eric under a bit of pressure on H7. That looks really strong to me. Rook comes to C3. Not totally sure what the idea of that is, unless she's planning to swing it across there and do more damage. But Eric's well ahead on the clock. He's got a chance to win if just on the clock. He's losing on the board, but he's winning on the clock. These 2 knights at the moment, not really making much of an impact. So for the moment, Eric is surviving. He's getting away with the fact that he's got far fewer pieces. Alexandra's going to have to probably leave at least one of these knights to defend the king. That's her problem. But if this rook were to swing across here and then invade down here, and then the queen came in here, that would be curtains. Eric looks like he doesn't immediately see a defense. He's running down on the clock. Yep, he's down on time for the first time. Okay, he centralizes his queen. Very logical move. Don't think that's going to prevent Alexandra executing one of the threats, or is she just going to offer to exchange the queens? That would be a great move. Yes, queen e4, offering to exchange the queens and creating threats on h7. Brilliant move. Yeah, she looks like she means it. Eric's got a horrible choice now. Yeah, he's had to exchange. Okay, so now all Alexandra needs to do is activate all her pieces, which she's doing. Oh, no, she just blundered? No, she hasn't. No, she's activating all her pieces, but she needs to try and exchange another pair of rooks. That's it. Get the king out of the way, make it safer. She needs to exchange a pair of rooks.
Even too now.
Yeah.
So,
she needs to exchange rooks. In fact, she needs to just pretty much exchange anything. Okay, rook on c7 to e, threatening rook e7. Okay, now the knight needs to come in and attack. Yep, the knight's coming in. But the knights are not threatening to give checkmate. She needs to get focused here. She needs to just bring this rook in here, this rook in there, take that pawn, get some pieces off the board, simplify it, and then just get on with it. 41 seconds she's got left. She needs to just get on with it. Eric's down to 27 seconds. Okay, that didn't do much. Knight e6 check. Okay, that could be unpleasant. Finally get a bit of action on the chessboard. Now, knight d8 check. Also not doing a whole lot, to be honest, but maybe the knight comes to c6 now. Maybe the knight comes here and attacks e7. Maybe. No rook there. I don't really see what that does. King d7, exactly. Okay, now we have some action. That was clever from Alexandra. The threat there is rook c7, which Eric immediately stops.
Clock issues getting tight.
Yeah, she's got a check. The king can come to e6. It's all going to come down to the clock. She's just hung a knight. Is she not? Yep, there it goes. No, she didn't see that. She mustn't panic. 15 seconds to 10. Anything could happen. Give a check. Knight checks. Knight checks are what do it. That's right. And the pre-move. There came the pre-move, but the pre-move didn't work. She lost valuable seconds. She thought she could make a pre-move, but it didn't happen.
Too tight.
It's 6.5 to 6.8. Knight c4 check. King d4. e4 check is coming. Knight d6. e4 check hits the king.
Wow, this
Knight
is
takes
chaos.
pawn. Knight e6. Any move now will do. Any move now. She grabs the knight, but Eric's going to win this, I think. Marginally 2 seconds against 1. 0.8. 0. Where Eric goes down, I think. Alexandra, how did she do that? How did she do that?
I couldn't tell, but at the reaction, I could tell. That's the only way I knew what was happening. I blacked out, and then I saw her celebrate. A big celebration.
That was blitz technique par excellence. Blitz technique par excellence. Move the piece. The rule of thumb, Jeff. Move the piece nearest to your thumb. Game on. We continue.
Wow, that was wild.
So Alexandra Botez pulls it back to 2-1. Have we ever seen Eric lose a clash? I think he won. Didn't he beat Simon 3-0 and Rafael 3-0? I think.
Oh, that's a good point. That might have been his first bloodshed there. I think.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, off we go. Clash number 4, betting face.
Oh, and there we see the 2 pawns again for Mr. Rosen, and we saw him go all in or make an aggressive move. This time, though, he's going to just check.
Mm-hmm.
And he does get promoted.
Oh, he's got a queen and a rook.
Becomes the queen.
Queen and a rook. Alexandra's got 2 rooks and a bishop. That's approximately equal. She's just slightly down.
She is going to start putting a couple chips in. And nice.
Oh, that was nice for Eric.
I'd be happy to see that.
Yeah.
It gets the Empress, actually.
Yep.
And Miss Botez's hand looked a pretty couple weak pawns there.
Yeah, 2 pawns she could do without.
Wow, did he? So she has a decision to fold, call to 7K, and she does give it up.
Well done. Good call. Or I should say good fold.
Yeah.
A good call to fold.
Yeah, good decision. So again, almost a 2-1 chip lead though. So that's part of the game where there's luck. The pieces you draw on the cards, and Miss Botez decided she didn't want to play for her game set clash life on the line with that particular hand. But as you see here now, the big blind 1.5K, and actually there's a fold, so some chips going to go back to her, which is nice. She's got to like to see that. You always like to see folds, when you don't have to risk, you don't have to play, you just pick up the pot. It's going to make it a little tighter now.
Right. Earlier in the match, she would have played that previous hand, I think. The two deals ago, she would have played it. She knows she's facing elimination if she loses this clash. So it's.
She's gonna pump it up, and I think He's going to re-raise. He's putting it in right there, so she's going to love to see that. She's got the queen bishop, so she's happy to be all in here. Eric gets a pawn. He doesn't like that. Pawn bishop. We see pawn and
knight.
a bishop, pawn knight bishop. So
she's ahead on pieces. She's the one with the lady. The lady has the lady.
Yeah, she's got what she wants to see. She's got a big pot with the best hand. That's all you can ask for to start.
There goes the knight by the king. Always good to have a knight near your king. Bishop tucks in. Alexandra is going to put her bishop on the longest diagonal of the board. It's very powerful. It's radiating power all the way across the board. Eric puts his rook there to attack it vertically from g8 down to g2. Alexandra will have to deal with that somehow. Or maybe she'll counterattack. How she likes this. She likes these two bishops together, Jeff, because they radiate this power together. Mm-hmm. One on the white squares, one on the black squares, so they control everything. They're like, we call that a battery.
Yeah, and she's got the queen to bring in at the end.
Yep, here it comes.
Yeah, it looks like a nice looking board for her.
I think the queen maybe goes... Where should the queen going to go? The queen should probably go somewhere where it's got access to the king. I don't know, I'd be putting it... Can't put it there because it'll get taken, but maybe c2 or somewhere? Well, she's
letting the clock burn a bit, but still,
it's a big decision.
Relatively close, yeah.
Big decision where to put your queen. I think maybe c2 because there's access to a4 to give check. Maybe that's a possibility, or d1 with the same effect. Yep, that's where she's thinking. Yep, she's done it. She's put it on c2. That's what I thought. So now Eric will have seen that. He needs now to think about where to put his rook for defensive purposes. It's not very good. It's not very good. There's a nasty threat of bishop c6 coming down to give check. Maybe he should just try and eliminate that threat. Maybe, I don't know, maybe put the rook here? No, he doesn't care. Okay, let's see. He's just lining up his rooks on the left, on your top right-hand side there.
He looks a bit, you see him shaking his head a bit. He seems a bit, he knows he's at a deficit here.
Yeah.
Her board looks very strong. Her board does look really nice.
Bishop f3, that was a nothing move. Rook g5, but knight e4 comes in, hitting the rook. So Alexandra just got the bishop off the attack from Eric's rook. That was just the purposes of her first move. Eric now trying to cause trouble, trying to give a check. Alexandra will deal with that easily. Oh, seems a shame to move that knight from its good square. I don't understand why she did that, but okay. It is incumbent upon you, if you've got more pieces, to try and take the initiative to try and attack. Okay, rook check. Eric's the one who's doing all the attacking here, though, with fewer pieces. There he is, hassling the bishop. Bishop goes to the knight, wants to exchange. That would be an excellent plan. But this knight, she should just correct that mistake, get that knight back on the good square. Instead, she brings the bishop in with check. That can't be a bad move. And now she's bringing the knight in, where it is an absolutely dominating piece. That knight controls 8 different squares. A knight in the center of the board controls 8 squares. A knight on the edge, for example, say there, would only control 2 squares. It's it's like an octopus in the center. Okay, you can see Eric is trying to line up on e2. Alexandra counters that, attacking Eric's rook on f1, because the knight moves in an L shape, remember? Rook gives the counter to the knight. Alexandra's not that coordinated, and in particular, this queen has yet to make a play. Queen really needs to make a play at some point if she's going to win this game in the time. Knight comes in.
Dropped under a minute, but...
Yeah. The knight's coming in, though. He's threatening e7. That's it. Now she's setting up what I would call a constellation. A bishop defending the knight, attacking the pawn. Now her pieces are starting to coordinate. That's going to give Eric a problem. Bishop's going to come to c5, threatening e7. This could be very nasty. Eric looks like he might have gone for a counterattack. Queen check. Don't think Eric's counterattack is going to get him very far, though. Does she go all in now with bishop c6? Does she? Yes, she does. That's basically in chess going all in. Queen letting Eric have his threats on to her king. God, Eric's really interested in that. Why did Alexandra move her king to the back rank? It could get mated. Fortunately, it's covered by the bishop. But goodness me, why expose it in that way? Alexandra just have to hope that that queen takes bishop check is basically decisive. I think she's decided that it probably is, actually. Eric's just, I don't know. Eric did not mean to hang his rook there, because now he's lost his knight, and his knight was defending his rook. So we've got a very clean position here. It's queen against rook. Alexandra needs to start attacking on the black squares. It's 28 seconds against 30. She needs to start focusing on those two black squares that Eric's got. E7 and F6, those black squared pawns. She needs to get an attack against those.
He didn't like it. He saw it. He just said, like... he's
just blundered into a mate. Well done, Alexandra. Yeah, she's focused. He's blundered into a mate. He knew he'd blundered. Choke mate.
Look at that. Look at the emotion. She is fired up.
We've got the full routine.
Look at this.
So where are we on the chips now, Jeff?
15.5 to 4.5, so about a 3-1 chip lead, but did not end the clash. So it is still 2 clashes to 1, but she has got him in a bad spot. He's essentially all in here, and she does get a queen. They both get a queen. So we're going to see it go all in a call for sure. And she's even calling, raising, same thing. It's all in. 9,000 in the middle. So again, must win for this clash for Eric.
Eric just got a double promotion.
Wow,
goodness me!
I don't even know what happened, but his screen lit up like a Christmas tree. There was a lot. A lot of things. It'll look good for him. Whatever happened.
Oh no, this is mad. I think they've both got 2. I think this is. Oh, there's going to be so many queens on the board.
Yeah,
this is going to be mad.
High octane here. This is,
exactly.
Power pieces.
Okay, I think Eric's setting up his favorite pawn chain on the king side. I think we're having a competition to name that. The Frozen Rosen would be mine. Okay, rook. Bishop on both sides. Here comes Eric's first queen. Oh, that's a nasty, 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 nasty placement, threatening queen g8 there. Alexandra's going to have to deal with that somehow. She can't allow something coming down the back there, but at the same time, the queen is also coming this way, or maybe heading for this square. Oh, that was extremely unsociable, and I actually don't like Alexandra's bishop. It's stuck behind a pawn. I don't really get the idea of that, actually. Okay, she's offering a queen trade. She's really worried. She's offering a queen trade, but here comes the big bazooka, the second queen. Yeah, look at that. Alexandra cannot believe that. The second queen on the board from Eric Rosen. That's is insane. An absolute killer.
That is scary.
That is an absolute killer.
Is that even, how big of an advantage is that? It's got to be
huge.
Over the moon, right? Like you almost can't.
No, if you've got 2 queens, he's a queen for bishop up, and perfect for him. He's able to exchange queens, which makes it as a percentage. The material disparity is enormous. The material disparity is 9 against 3. So if you took out the rook and 3 pawns each, it would be 9 points, which is a queen, 3, which is a bishop. And you can see he's already focusing in on that bishop. His rook has come down to h7 to pin that bishop to the king. The bishop can't move. We're just waiting for Jerry the G pawn. Yep, there he comes. We call him the G pawn because he's on the G file, coming into. Oh, queen takes f6 check. Yeah, that was a blunder from Alexandra, but it doesn't really matter. She had no chance. Eric will clean up now completely. It's all over. He'll queen up all her, clear up her pawns, give checkmate to the king. It will be all over. We might even get what's called a staircase checkmate here. Maybe there's not enough open space. Alexandra will probably resign. Eric's got 117 seconds. On a bad day, he could probably do this in 3.
Yeah. Well,
it's the staircase or lawnmower checkmate. He's anticipating her next move, and there it is. Queen b5 mate. Game over. Eric wins the pot.
Chokemate. Bam.
Chokemate.
Chokemate. I like that. This is there we go. It's 11-9. So again, this is now just like that. He's evened it up basically. And it is coming down to this. So this is now pressure on Alexandra Botez, and she sees she's gonna. Oh, she doesn't notice. She's gonna call her fold. She's not raising. A delay.
Rook and a pawn.
Maybe picked up on the timing tell. And there's it all in, and she doesn't. Now she's gonna fold. And he gets the lead, it looks like.
He bullied
just
her
like
there.
that.
He bullied her there a bit.
Yeah, I think she's been undecisive, and now it's a reverse. So look at that, with a win and a fold, 13-7K. So pressure on. This is game, set, match potentially here with the pressure on Miss Botez. She gets the queen demoted. So wow, and
so she's got queen and pawn effectively.
Yeah, that's very unlikely. There's more queens coming though.
And she'll suss that out. Yeah, 2 bishops, not too bad. She'll be happy with that, I think. Queens and bishops, I mean, she's going to be deadly on the diagonal. She's got 3 diagonal capable pieces here. We're going to see crisscross. This is going to be crisscross chess. Not too much of the up and down. It's just going to be diagonals. Deadly diagonals. That's what we're going to see here, I think. So she'll put her bishop maybe some square like g7. Or she's putting the pawn first to give the king a bit of protection. Eric setting up his Frozen Rosen.
Yeah.
Oh, a parallel one from Alexandra. Interesting. Eric putting his rook on the open H file. There it goes. Now that bishop, I would be putting that bishop maybe on g7. Yeah, exactly, because then it can ping down there. Give check. It also covers this square, which Eric's rook was eyeing up, so that's handy. Great placement from Alexandra. Okay, Eric's just only got a bishop and a rook. He probably hasn't realized Alexandra's got a queen to come. Okay, rook next to the king, that makes sense. Alexandra's bishop, where will she put that? I think arguably maybe next to the king, actually. Maybe put it on d7. I like that square. Or she could stick to her guns and create the battery, put it on f7, that she likes doing that. Yep, she's created the battery, covering h7. That was clever, actually, because that square was open to Eric's rook. That was a neat placement. Those 2 bishops radiating all this power on the deadly diagonals. Okay, Eric pops his bishop near to the king, but here comes the queen. He's not going to like this. He's not going to like the queen when it comes.
All right, we're into the chess phase.
So, queen and 2 bishops against 2 rooks and a bishop. Eric doing the castling.
He loves the castle.
I warned Alexandra about that in the interview last time, that Eric's got this plan. So we saw 2 pieces move at the same time there. That's what you're allowed to do in chess. You castle your king. The king goes from e1 to g1. The rook goes from h1 to f1. And in an instant, your king has got lots of cover. Now, Alexandra's best move now would be to exchange that bishop. Okay, she should exchange that bishop. Now, she's playing very cautiously. But now what she's doing is she's driving a pawn down. This pawn is what we call a passed pawn. It has no opposite number. It can charge down to the end of the board. Eric's just going aggressive. He wants to crush this bishop. The bishop doesn't want to allow that. Bishop's attacking the rook. Rook has to escape. Nothing to stop Alexandra just executing this plan. This pawn is coming all the way down the board. Yep, there it is. There's real danger for Eric that pawn could become a queen. But Alexandra's best plan must surely be to exchange off this defensive bishop. If that bishop is exchanged, Eric's king is going to be very weak. And there we have it. That's the first move towards that. I think she wants to play bishop d4. Eric sees that immediately and pins the bishop. King gets out of the way and says, I want to move my bishop, clear off, get lost, get out of h7, get out of my face. Bishop's coming here next, I think. Eric goes. Eric's in big trouble now, because not only is Alexandra threatening bishop takes bishop, she's threatening the rook, which is defended by the bishop. Yep, she sees the pieces real fast. She knows she's got the advantage.
Even on time. You can really see she wears her emotions on her sleeve. I mean, she's raising the roof. She feels it. She thinks this is hers. She has to if she wants to continue. She's got to win here.
Eric's pre-moving. He's anticipating bishop takes bishop. He's anticipating exchange of bishops, but yeah, I think she might as well do that and get the pawn down to the end of the board. There it goes, a new queen. I think that's the first promotion we've seen in Choker.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Or I don't
That's
remember.
a pawn promotion.
Oh, no,
If a pawn gets to the end of the
we
board.
saw one.
Did we? Maybe we did.
I think we might have, or it was going to happen. I can't. Now I'm not sure. We're gonna have to get clear. It's rare.
Okay, but this is interesting now, because actually the way this is panned out, it's not that easy for Alexandra to win, because Eric has kind of got a fortress. He's going to set himself up in such a way that Alexandra won't be able to break through, and then it'll just be on the clock. So it is a win. I'm sure this position is a win if she plays it right, but she needs to play it right. It's not easy to see how she can win, and Eric is threatening to move this pawn forward, and then that really would be a strong fortress. Then I'm not actually sure how she would win. Goodness me. Yeah. Eric's done this very cleverly. That is classy play. Classy play, but she's a few seconds ahead, but she doesn't want to spend too much time thinking about how to win. She should just move. Just make moves. Come on, Alexandra, you just need to pre-move here. Anything will do. Anything will do. Although we have this funny rule in chess that if you get the same position 3 times on the board, then it's a draw. Okay, Alexandra's trying to activate the king, trying to get the king nearer to Eric's king, giving him check.
Uh-oh, she doesn't like it. Something happened.
She's going backwards now. Really, Eric? Are you sure? Oh, that's clever. Eric's just set her up there. If she took the pawn, he would have won her queen. Oh, Eric's making... I don't think... But that wasn't so good, actually.
The clock is so tight.
Come on, take the pawn with check, Alexandra. Keep
she's
checking.
Losing time.
She's going down. It's down to the last second. 4.5 against 4.2. 4.5 against 3.8. No, she's so fast. Alexandra is so fast.
Oh, my goodness.
She is the quickest. She is... a blitz bombshell, this woman. She's unbelievable. When it comes down to no time, she can make more moves than anyone. I've never seen anyone play so quick. She will be a match for Hikaru. If she takes the 5th clash, if she wins this match, if she wins clashes 4 and 5, she will be a match for Hikaru if it gets down to what I would call like the bullet phase, when you've just got a minute left. Unreal. Wow, absolutely unreal.
That was wild.
I mean, it looked like Eric was winning. He looks bemused, Jeff. He's thinking, how the heck did that happen?
Wow.
It's funny. Eric played such a tricky move. I didn't have time to explain it fully, but when he moved that pawn forward at the death, pawn to g7, giving check, if Alexandra had taken that pawn, Eric would have played rook across to g6 check and won her queen, and then he might have been winning the resulting position. Hard to say. But she sidestepped that. She dodged it brilliantly. She saw it coming, and then, I don't know, did she make 3 or 4 moves in a second? I don't know. Incredibly fast. It's 2-2. We're going to see the score updated at the bottom of your screen, and there it is, 2-2.
Oh, she is.
Jeff, your prediction has come true.
Wow, by a split second. This is a nice starting hand from Eric, and not so much from Botez. That
5 plus 3, and Alexandra's got the classic bad hand, minor piece and pawn.
Oh no. She almost misclicked raise. She folded though. So first blood goes to Eric's slight lead again on the first portion. She's licking her hand. She's ready. I don't know what she's doing, but she's looking for anything she can do in the betting phase to get some energy, some advantage. She has got a slight deficit now. Really not much pawn. You don't want to see the pawn. The pawn, although we know that can turn into a promotion. So, she just goes with a fold. Interesting.
I don't think that's... I don't know.
Probably not GTO. That might not be game theory optimal in this situation, but...
Yeah. We don't think pawn's an automatic fold, do we?
No. We saw Eric go all in with that at one point and blast in. Oh, pawn again.
Hilarious.
Wow, a lot of pawns out. And
we have 16 out of 44 pawns, Jeff. So that's
there's the promotion for Eric, and Botez is not liking how these cards are falling.
She needs another pawn. She needs another pawn. There's just a better 1 in 3 chance of a pawn.
I wonder if she knows that rule. I'm sure she knows it, but I wonder if she realizes how likely it is to get it, because she seems to not be in love with the pawn.
I mean, 5 pawns out, so there's 39 left.
Wow, she's thinking of folding. No, she's going to call. Okay, she's looking for that pawn. Doesn't get it.
But she didn't get it. Oh, dear.
And he's going to put the pressure on here.
She should probably fold.
He He's
She
making a
hasn't got a
sizing
queen.
there. You see, he went with the sizing instead of all in, I think, trying to entice her into the pot because he was hoping to play to keep her in. So he didn't want to just go all in. You saw him downsize his bet, and she
Right.
still didn't want any part of it. I mean,
trying to
she's
lure her
down
in,
to
wasn't
5,000. She's lost about half her stack, and they haven't got to the placement phase even.
So she's small blind this time.
And she's
Oh
not
no,
liking this.
the
She's
lousy
getting-
pot again. A lousy hand.
She's getting the hand stacked against her. Oh, wait, can she not cover the big blind?
Oh, she's
Wow.
folded that. Oh, that was a mistake. If she's folded, she'll be out of.
Oh, can she not?
Yeah, she's out. She's out of chips. If she shouldn't have folded, she had to play. She won't be able to cover the big blind.
She looks very visibly upset, and I think she maybe blundered there. Didn't realize that was the case. Similar to Bill Perkins, and again, it's not like it was their first match. I think this is clearly stated in the rules, and man, I think not just for that point, but for the pawn, folding in that spot where I think that's a mistake in terms of, again, the likelihood of getting another pawn 1 and 3 almost to get it. And she would have had a queen potentially there and just folding. And then it kind of spiraled and she ended up just folding out of the match, which is unfortunate because she played so well. She was so excited and hyped up to get it to 2-2, but that looks like that's it.
Well, there we have it. We see it will be in the finals next week at the same time. Hikaru Nakamura, the world's, in my opinion at least, top speed chess player, against Eric Rosen, the man who's got a lot of, fought his way through 3 matches to get through to play Hikaru Nakamura for the Challengers Choker Cup. Well, Jeff, thanks very much for commentating with me. Some very, very interesting strategies on the betting, some crazy chess. I'll see you next week for the final Hikaru Nakamura against Eric Rosen. Really looking forward to it. And thank you for your insights into poker. I think that I'm certainly learning an awful lot about poker every time we do Choker, and I'm sure that the audience are as well. So thank you so much, and see you next week.
Thanks again.
I'm now going to go and do the post-match interview with Eric Rosen, so do stay around for that, and let's see how he feels about how this game came to an end. Eric, I understand we are now live on Chess 24. So
okay.
you got through 3-2. I mean, at 2-0, it looked like you were absolutely cruising. And Alexandra played some unbelievable speed chess at the end. She seems to be able to reel off like 3 or 4 moves in less than a second. I mean, I think in both occasions when you ran out of time, I thought it was her who was going to run out of time.
Right. Yeah. No. The pre-moving was really impressive.
Yes.
And she's a pro in this. Like she does a ton of blitz and bullets, and I'm pretty sure she's been trained since childhood. So it's slightly terrifying. And even in the situation, I think there's towards the end, I think the second clash, or no, the final clash that she won, she had this queen against my rook, and it was so hard for me to pre-move. Yeah.
Yes.
Even though I have this fortress, it's hard to pre-move because she keeps checking me. I don't know where. It was hard to predict her pre-moves too.
Yeah, it was interesting, your strategy there, because I thought what you'd do is just sit tight. You had the fortress. She couldn't win in purely chess terms, I thought, or at least it would be incredibly difficult to figure out. So I thought really that you should just let her check you, but you thought that might be losing because you found this incredibly clever G7 check, and if she takes the pawn, you win her queen. And you were actually making the running. I thought maybe since you were ahead on the clock, maybe you just had to sit there, try and figure it out, because by the time she checks you 20 or 30 times, she'll probably have repeated the position, right? You might get a draw by repetition.
Which I was honestly expecting that. And then at some point I thought I could try and play for a win. And I was trying to like make progress with my king. I think I missed some opportunity to run my king to G7. But yeah, she played remarkably well, and not only like in these time scramble situations, but also in the betting phases, she was able to get me to commit with worse hands.
Yes.
And I mean, there were many occasions where she just had a huge material lead. So I don't know if I could have improved in some way, but yeah, she was a very, very tough opponent.
The really interesting thing for us was that pawn kept coming up on the first 2 cards. And it's not clear to us that that's a fold. I mean, your strategies were different. I guess you're looking at the size of the stacks of both sides before making your decisions. But do you think it's automatically a fold?
Yeah, it always depends on what the blinds are and how much each side is committed. Because once the blinds get to a certain point, you're almost just pot committed with the big blind.
Right.
However, yeah, I'll admit I haven't done the exact math on whether like two pawns are better than a pawn minor piece, but it's definitely towards the lower end of the spectrum of hand strength. So, I think in general, in general, you want to at least see the next two cards to see if you're getting promotions. Right.
I mean, you've got a 72% chance of getting a third pawn and a promotion if you have two pawns.
That's true. Which is, but even 2 pawns plus a rook, it's still, I think, below average just in terms of a three piece hand.
Yes.
So it's tricky. And you do have to account for all these potential promotions or demotions and special hands. So it has been hard to work out the math. But that's only these things. Sometimes when you go all in with 2 pawns, it's very much of a gamble.
Yes. I have to ask you about the queenside castling. I thought that was extremely funny. You set your rooks up 1 on A1, 1 on H1, and you could have castled either side. And then you castled queenside, which I think took Alexandra by surprise. Took me by surprise, that's for sure. But then she had a discovered check as an answer to it. Had you seen that coming? You had to look at the man who might not have seen it coming.
I'll admit, I was just trying to sort of orchestrate some queenside castle with chokemate. I thought that would just be the ultimate goal for that position because everything was winning. but then knight c5 surprised me. I forgot she could block the check and discover check. Thankfully, I'm just already up so much material, so it didn't affect me too much.
No, you had overwhelming firepower advantage there in the end. Well, Eric, look, thank you very, very much for your performances in these last 3 match days. It's been great. And you're now set up to play Hikaru Nakamura. But you're match ready, and he's not. He's been playing conventional chess, although maybe he's practicing on the app. What do you think your chances are against Hikaru?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I did play Hikaru many months ago in a choker match where it was not so formal, and the game was different back then, where the blinds didn't really increase. So it was much longer clashes. I'll probably have to go back and rewatch and see his strategies. But yeah, I mean, in terms of just speed chess, he's currently ranked number 1 in the world for Blitz, one of the strongest bullet players online, if not the strongest. So I'll have my work cut out, but I'm happy to survive this one and just make it to next week.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to seeing you there. So Eric Rosen in St. Louis, near the fabulous Chess Center, the heart of chess in the USA, and now the heart of Choker. Thanks very much. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much, Malcolm. Take care.
And a reminder to everyone that you can download the app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Get involved, join the community, and we'll see you here next Thursday, the 25th of June at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the Grand Final.